Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into a source that lays out this really radical vision for our future. And it's a vision built not on politics, not on economics, but on prophecy. So let's get right into it.
So, right off the bat, the source hits us with this pretty startling claim. It's basically saying that the biggest thing changing the West right now, it's not what you think. It's this incredibly powerful faith-based ideology and one with, a truly global ambition.
Okay, so global theocratic order. That's a mouthful, right? It's a pretty dense phrase. To really get what our source is talking about, we've got to unpack that. Let's start right there, with that central idea. All right, so according to our source material, we're not just talking about, a new president or a new party in charge. No, this is a proposal for a whole new world system. And the core idea? It's a fundamental shift, moving the center of power away from us, from humanity, and over to divinity. This idea it's a complete break from the very foundations of modern society. The argument here isn't just for a few new policies. It's about replacing the entire system, our system of reason, of law, with a new logic that's completely rooted in the divine. And this slide just lays it out so clearly, doesn't it? It shows the core conflict. On one side, you've got the world we know, right? The one built on things like reason and law, Enlightenment ideas. But on the other side is this vision for a world guided entirely by spiritual authority. It is a fundamental clash of worldviews. Okay, so the next piece of this puzzle is how it handles Messianism. That's the belief in a coming savior. But what's really interesting here is that it takes that idea and gives it this fascinating twist. It actually blends Eastern and Western traditions together. So in this worldview, we're not talking about two different figures from two different religions. Nope. Instead, the Western Messiah and the Eastern Maitreya are seen as one and the same, a single unified savior for all of humanity. It's a really unique kind of syncretic take on prophecy. So you might be asking, how does that unification even happen? Well, the source points to something called the creation great law. Think of it as the ideological engine. It's the core teaching that binds all these ideas together and really fuels this whole global transformation. Okay, so how does a belief system like this actually bring about a new world order? What's the mechanism? The source lays out a very specific catalyst for this change, and it calls it the Great Awakening. Yeah, the text lays out a pretty clear chain of events. Step 1, the creation great law goes global. Then, this starts to reshape people's core beliefs on a massive scale. That, in turn, triggers this collective Great Awakening. And in this new state of consciousness, the idea is that humanity will just voluntarily walk away from all the old rules and structures of modern society. But what's the end game here? What's the ultimate goal of this whole awakening? Well, according to the source material, it's all about helping humanity transcend, to basically leave behind what it calls the old universe. Now, when it says old universe, it's not talking about the physical cosmos. It's talking about our entire intellectual history. Everything from rationalism to modern science. All of it is basically framed as a kind of prison, a set of constraints that we as a species have to break free from to get to a higher state of being. So the ultimate promise here, it's one of total rebirth. It's a move from a world that's bound by, quote, old rules and fate, to a totally recreated heaven on earth. A paradise, completely free from all those old limitations. Okay, let's just recap and tie this all together. This whole ideology really rests on 4 main pillars, and they all build on each other. First, you've got this unified savior figure for everyone. Then, that figure brings in a new world order based on divine authority. The whole transformation is powered by that core teaching, the creation great law, which all leads to the final goal, a complete rebirth of civilization into a paradise. So at the end of the day, this isn't being presented as some dry political theory. It's a huge, sweeping story, a grand narrative. It's really a mystical vision that's meant to completely revolutionize human belief, offering a way out of our flawed present and into this perfect utopian future. What we've really unpacked here from this source is a powerful example of how ancient prophecies can fuse with modern ideas and create these really transformative new ideologies. And it kind of leaves us with this big question, doesn't it? How are these kinds of belief systems going to keep evolving and shaping our world in the future?